Hi guys, in this tactical video today, we're going to look at where you should be hitting your volleys. Now this is a very common error when you're coming to the game, when you're starting out and you're just getting into your matches, of directing those shots into the wrong places for yourself and for your partner. So in this video, we're going to have a look at that. So we're going to look at the different types of volleys to begin with. First of all, you have a neutral volley. So this is where your opponent might hit a good shot and you're kind of just out of position, you can't really attack it, but you're going to play it back into play. Now, the best place to play that ball is where it's come from. So if it's come at you from the diagonal, it's best to play it back in that diagonal position so that you can maintain your court position. If I were to change direction, that means I then need to move and my partner needs to move, and on a neutral volley, it's not easy to put your opponents under pressure. So often that's in the diagonal, but really it's wherever that ball came from. If the ball came from down the line, I'd often volley back down the line so we can maintain our position.
In this example, because Galan is volleying into that corner, him and Mires, they can keep their positions and then wait for an easier ball that they can attack.
When it comes to attacking volleys, you have a few different options. So you can either, again, go back into that corner where the ball comes from and you can hit an aggressive type volley that ideally will hit one or two glasses and put your opponent under pressure so you get an easier ball for the next one. You could hit down the centre of the court, down that middle line, and try and make the ball die by that back glass. If you can get a bit of slice on it and it's between your opponents, that's often very difficult to defend. And then your third option is to play down towards the fence. So this could either be a drop shot where you're letting the second bounce be around where the fence is, or if you can, you be aggressive so the ball bounces and hits that fence and then obviously comes off the fence unpredictably.
In this point, you can see that Paquito and LeBron have to hit 5 good volleys before they actually get an easy opportunity to finish the point. But you can see that all of their volleys are either down that centre with a little bit of slice on or aggressive into the corner. And the replies each time are getting a little bit easier until eventually they have the opportunity to finish the point.
Probably the most common error when it comes to shot direction, and this is something that we see a lot at the kind of recreational game, is when a player changes direction off a neutral ball from down the line. And so just to put that into perspective, if I cover the line and my partner's covering the tee, that means the ball is in that forehand corner and they hit down the line to my backhand. If I change direction with a medium or neutral ball, a neutral volley, that means that I have to then cover the tee and my partner has to cover the line, therefore giving them a lot of gaps to aim at and us not a lot of time to get into position. This is a very common error and we see it all the way up to the professional level, that the player, if they're close to the fence, they might try and go cross court, and that diagonal player, they might take a step forward, block that ball down the middle, and then these two players are left stranded. So if you are going to hit cross court from the outside of the court, from the line, you need to either be very aggressive into that corner or aggressive or short chip down to the fence, both of which allows you time to come back and it puts your opponent under pressure so it's not easy for them to block into that space. Generally speaking, it's a lot easier to change the direction of play from a ball that comes in the centre. So using that same example, my partner's covering the middle, I'm covering the line, the player hits the ball this time down the centre instead of down the line, and I can come across here and volley into that corner of the court, and you can see that from my position here, I volleyed and I take one step and I'm already in the right position. So I'm already there. It's not going to take me time to get here, and my partner can take 1 or 2 steps and then they cover the line. That is probably the best time to change direction.
This point shows how to change shot direction and adjust your own position. So first of all, Sanyu goes into that corner, they maintain position. Next, Paquito hits down the centre and they adjust slightly, a bit more central. Then they go cross court and they fully switch positions.
So if that ball comes down the line to you, one of the best options you can do is either volley back into that corner or volley and try and leave the ball in the middle but towards that back glass so they can't attack. Even if you hit the ball down the middle and it comes up a bit, your opponents are going to be able to have a lot more choices and you and your partner really have to cover the whole court, making it a little bit more difficult for yourselves. If this is your first tactical video, I really recommend going back and looking at the court position and also moving as a pair, because between the 3 of them, it covers the majority of the tactics when you're learning the game.